Black Adam. Every damned spoiler.
Your handy guide to help you understand all things. Black Adam. The following contains spoilers for Black Adam movie, Part 3. What are Black Adam's powers? The anti-hero's incredible abilities explained. Johnson was not kidding when he said Black Adam would be unstoppable in the DCEU, as even four superheroes working together cannot take him down. But what are Black Adam's powers exactly? In this explainer, we dig through the character's comic book history to uncover everything the anti-hero is capable of. Be prepared. His list of abilities is impressive. Black Adam star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has repeatedly emphasized the extreme power of his anti-hero character even in comparison with other superheroes and villains. His catchphrase for promoting the movie states that the character's arrival means the hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change, but just what, specifically, are the new DC Extended Universe stars' powers? A DC powerhouse. Johnson's description of Black Adam as one of the most powerful characters in the DC pantheon is not just empty hype. In the comics, he has often taken on swaths of high-powered superhuman opponents at the same time and emerged victorious. The most famous example of his doing so is in World War III, a climactic storyline from DC's 52 comic. Throughout 52, Adam had been undergoing a gradual redemption thanks to the influence of his new wife, Adriana Tamaz or Isis. But when Adriana and her brother Armin or Osiris are murdered by the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse, Adam goes on his worst rampage ever, massacring 2 million people in the fictional nation of Bialia in his search for the monsters and their creators. When the world's superheroes attempt to bring him to justice, Adam goes to war with them, taking down entire super teams, including his former teammates, the Justice Society of America. Billy and a group of mystics then manage to cast a spell reverting him to human form, after which Billy changes his magic word so Adam can't call on his powers again. While it's unlikely Johnson's version of the character will be committing genocide in any of his DCEU appearances, one of World War III's notable absences could point to Adam's cinematic future. Who is Black Adam and the Justice Society of America? Every trailer for Black Adam already teased that besides the titular anti-hero, the new DCEU movie also introduces the Justice Society of America, a superhero team that precedes the Justice League. But what's the deal with the Justice Society? Who's a member of the team, and what's their comic book history with Black Adam? We tell you everything you need to know about the movie's opposing forces in this explainer. And what is his history with DC's original superhero team? It's pretty complicated. With Black Adam finally in theaters, we are beyond excited to see what the long-awaited addition to the DCEU brings. Dwayne Johnson spent over a decade campaigning to play Black Adam on the big screen, and after all those years, it's finally happening. But who is Black Adam, and who are the members of the Justice Society of America JSA who appeared alongside him? It's no secret that this is Black Adam's first appearance in live-action media barring a brief reference in Shazam, but the JSA has shown up a few times throughout the years, be it on Smallville DC's Legends of Tomorrow and the current Stargirl series. But regardless of their live-action appearances or lack thereof, Black Adam, Dr. Fate, Hawkman, Cyclone, and Atom Smasher all have vast comic book histories that will no doubt contribute to their upcoming roles in Black Adam. Black Adam, a tortured anti-hero. Black Adam first appeared as Teth Adam, an ancient Egyptian man who was chosen by the wizard Shazam to become the mighty Adam. Eventually, Adam believed that he was the rightful heir of Egypt and killed the pharaoh, only to be cursed by the wizard for his betrayal. This eventually resulted in conflict between Black Adam and Billy Batson, known as Captain Marvel, until the past decade. After the mythic crisis on Infinite Earths, Black Adam's origins were rewritten to exclude Egypt entirely, trading it in for the fictional Northern African nation of Kahndaq. This update also included the death of his children at the hands of a supervillain, resulting in him taking over Kahndaq. After being stripped of his powers by the wizard, Black Adam was eventually revived by his reincarnated ancestor Theo Adam, the man who killed Billy Batson's parents. As it turns out, Theo Adam and Black Adam Kulko Co exist together, and eventually, Black Adam strayed away from Theo's evil influence over his life. Not long after, Black Adam worked with the Justice Society of America against the Injustice Society, Johnny Sorrow, the Sin Eater, and others before being inducted into the team's ranks during Jeff Johns and David S. Goyer's epic JSA run. Even after he joined the JSA, Captain Marvel didn't believe Adam had changed, and eventually he was proven right. Black Adam quickly became more unhinged and took over Kahndaq once again, killing any supervillain who caused anyone harm. In his time as ruler of Kahndaq, he married the Egyptian goddess Isis, and the two ruled over the nation together. Along with Isis' brother Osiris, they become the Black Marvel family. Sadly, his new family doesn't last long, and after Isis and Osiris' deaths at the hands of Intergang, Black Adam declared World War III. After WW3, Black Adam lost his powers and spent the rest of his time in the post-crisis continuity struggling to regain his powers. Once he regains them and eventually resurrects his wife, Adam and Isis are petrified in stone by the wizard Shazam for their misuse of power. Black Adam doesn't appear again until the New 52 continuity reboot, which once again changes his origin. Most recently, after a few battles with Billy Batson's Shazam the Man, formerly known as Captain Marvel, Black Adam joined the Justice League as a somewhat reformed anti-hero. Time will tell if these heroic changes will stick or if he'll end up going back to his violent ways. Hawkman, a hero throughout time. Hawkman's Aldis Hodge history is a lot more convoluted than Black Adam's and has been rebooted and retold more times than we could count. However, a few aspects of Hawkman's story have always remained true across time. Born thousands of years ago as the Egyptian prince Khufu, Hawkman teamed up with Teth Adam and the mystic Nabu to find a crashed Thanagarian spaceship that contained nth metal, the source of Hawkman's power. Years later, Prince Khufu and his bride Chayara were brutally murdered by the villainous priest Hathset and cursed to be reborn again and again over the centuries. Khufu would be reincarnated as the 5th century Silent Knight, Captain John Smith of Virginia, an Old West gunfighter, a Pinkerton detective, and eventually as Carter Hall aka Hawkman, the most famous of all Khufu's incarnations. In recent books, it's been revealed that Khufu has also lived lives on other planets, including as the Thanagarian cop Carter Hall and the Kryptonian historian Kata-O. In the 1940s, Carter Hall and his bride, Shira, sometimes spelled Shayera, became Hawkman and Hawkgirl, later Hawkwoman, crime fighters who would help found the Justice Society of America and would eventually become prominent members of the Justice League of America as well. Over the years, Carter generally served as the chairman of the JSA, though he would occasionally step aside to give others the chance to lead. As time went on, the Hawks would serve during the original Crisis on Infinite Earths, which changed the universe forever. Afterward, their origins would change a few times, though the basics always remained the same, and eventually, they die in battle during Blackest Night, only to be resurrected again almost immediately. Hawkman might have the most confusing character histories in all of the comics, but that's mostly because there are too many incarnations to talk about. Way more than we have time for here. Most recently, Carter and the Shayera Hole incarnation of Hawkgirl are revealed to actually come from KTAR and Shra, two alien beings locked in an eternal resurrection with one another. After defeating the Deathbringers, the alien group to which Hawkman originally belonged, and their leader, the Lord Beyond the Void, Carter and Shayera are given the chance to live their favorite life once again, but this time as mortals with long, extended life. Choosing to return to their time with the original JSA, the Hawks live a long life, well into the 40th century by the end of the recent Hawkman series. Dr. Fate, the Master of Magic. While there have been many versions of Dr. Fate over the years, the original and most famous, Kent Nelson, is the version soon to appear in Black Adam, played by Pierce Brosnan. In his origin story, a young Nelson accompanied his archaeologist father on a Mesopotamian expedition. While investigating the tomb of Nabu, Nelson accidentally awakes the magical deity, resulting in the death of his father. But Nabu takes pity on Nelson and spends the next few decades training him to become Dr. Fate, giving him his magical helmet, amulet, and cloak to fight supernatural crime back in the United States. It's upon returning to his homeland, but not before meeting his wife, Inza, that Nelson helps found the Justice Society. As Nelson fights crime as Dr. Fate, he struggles with his superhero alter ego, especially since Nabu tends to take over his body through his mystical helmet. After the Crisis on Infinite Earths, Nelson Co founded what would later become the Justice League International, but even while working with the League, he still remained faithfully committed to the JSA. During this time, Naba would constantly manipulate Nelson's life, culminating in Nelson and his wife, Inza, merging to become the new Dr. Fate, this time with them in control instead of Nabu. This would be challenged during the Zero Hour event after the villain extant stripped the Justice Society of their magical protections, including the Helmet of Fate itself. As the Nelsons struggled to restore their magic powers, their life force is drained by demons, resulting in their deaths. Though, in true Dr. Fate fashion, they remained alive as spirits, occasionally helping the JSA when need be. Of course, new Dr. Fates would rise and fall over the years, including the original Hawkman's son Hector Hall, and two of Nelson's grandnephews, but none as important as the original. In the recent DC Rebirth soft reboot, Kent Nelson has returned to the mantle of Dr. Fate, though he isn't alone. Beside him is one of his grandnephews, Khalid Nasser, with whom he shares the mantle of Dr. Fate, each with their own stylish helmet. While Nelson might still battle with his inner Nabu, his return to the helmet comes just in time for his coming appearance on the big screen.